Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we begin today, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Hello XRP Army, and welcome back to the Crypto Republic, your go-to channel for the latest high-energy updates in digital assets. Before we get started with today's business, make sure to smash that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you updates every day at 9 a.m., noon, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Crypto Republic. They told you it was dead. They told you that banks were uninterested. They said the regulatory heat was too high. But if I told you while the world was looking away, the biggest financial players, JP Morgan, Citi, BNY, were quietly building the rails for a digital takeover. We just got the signal. It's not a rumor. It's not a leak. It comes directly from a CFTC commissioner. The infamous rules that block the door, well, they're crumbling. And the massive transition to the new global money language, ISO 222, well, folks, it's happening right now. If you've been wondering why XRP and the digital asset market have felt like a coiled spring, well, this is the video you need to watch. Today, we're connecting the dots between a massive regulatory shift and the plumbing of the entire banking system. Get ready. The silence is about to get very loud and weird. All right, let's get into the weeds, but I promise I'll keep this simple. To understand where we're going, we have to understand why things have been so quiet. Recently, John Squire, a sharp eye in the crypto space, highlighted a bombshell interview with CFTC Commissioner Carolyn. She laid it out plain and simple. For years, banks were effectively handcuffed. She specifically called out the infamous SAB 121. This rule effectively made it impossible for banks to hold digital assets without jumping through impossible hoops. Caroline said, and I quote, banks were prohibited without getting a letter of non-objection. Basically, they had to ask for permission, and the answer was usually no. But here's the pivot. That rule has been challenged. The acting SEC chair, Mark Ye, stepping up. Carolyn says the removal of these blockers is a huge step. Why does this matter to you? Because it explains the stagnation. It explains why you haven't seen your bank offer crypto services yet. But now the handcuffs are coming off. Now here's the part that gave me chills, ladies and gentlemen. You might think that because banks couldn't legally operate, well, they were sitting idle on their hands. Wrong. Commissioner Caroline dropped a nugget of gold in her statement. She said major institutions, the big dogs, like JP Morgan and Citi, well, they never left the sector, folks. Wait, what? If they couldn't operate, what were they doing then? Well, Caroline explained that throughout work happened through portfolio, companies and strategic equity investments. Think about that. While the retail market was panicking over headlines, the smart money was investing in the infrastructure through backdoors and side channels. They were laying the fiber optics while everyone else was arguing about the price of the copper wire. She explicitly said, it's been quiet, but now they're ready to accelerate. We are moving from the research and development phase into the deployment phase, ladies and gentlemen. And that deployment requires a specific kind of technology. The timing isn't random, ladies and gentlemen. We are staring down the barrel of the ISO 222 migration. If you don't know what that is, think of it like this. For 50 years, banks have been sending faxes to each other. ISO 222 is like upgrading the entire global economy to 4K streaming video. It's a standard for rich, structured data. John Squire points this out perfectly. XRP was built for this environment. It targets institutional payments. It promotes speed. It promotes efficiency. But most importantly, its ledger is compatible with structured data format. On November 22nd, SWIFT, the messaging network that connects 11,000 banks, begins a major transition phase. Assets that can speak this language natively have a massive advantage. Assets that require clunky translators, they're going to struggle, ladies and gentlemen. When Commissioner Caroline says we'll see more deployments, more volume, she's talking about a system that is finally ready to handle the traffic. The roads are paved. The speed limits are being raised. And the vehicles that are built for speed are lining up at the starting line. So what are we looking for? How do we spot the real signal amongst the noise? Well, ladies and gentlemen, first, watch the risk governance frameworks. Caroline mentioned that once regulators are comfortable with these internal bank rules, the floodgates open. Watch for announcements from custodial banks, BNY, State Street. When they announce digital assets, custody services are live, that is the starting gun, folks. Second, ignore the day-to-day price action and look at the plumbing. Look for partnerships involving ISO 222 compliant tech. And third, realize that this is a long game. The quiet period wasn't a period of inactivity. It was a period of preparation, ladies and gentlemen. The institutions are risk averse always. They don't move until it's safe. The regulatory shifts we are seeing now are the safety signals they've waited for. This isn't about buying a lottery ticket. This is about understanding the financial system is undergoing a hardwire upgrade. History tells us that the technologies that solve the hardest problems, like cross-border friction, tend to stick around. So folks, the bottom line is this. The narrative that banks hate crypto is dead. They were just waiting for the rules to let them play. The rules are changing now, folks. The ISO standard is arriving, and the players who built their tech to handle this exact moment are standing center stage. Don't let the signs fool you. The engine is running. If you want to stay ahead of this shift, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'm going to keep tracking these regulatory moves so you don't have to. Drop a comment below. Do you think the banks are ready to flip the switch? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Always, ladies and gentlemen, please drop comments for subjects you want us to make content for, things that you want to understand and things that you'd like to have videos to overly discuss. We read all the comments, and no, I'm not an AI person. Always remember, this content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. Remember, the game is changing, and those who understand it first will benefit the most. Make sure you're on the right side of it. You have two choices. You can be like the crowd, reacting after the move, rationalizing why they missed it, telling themselves they'll never let it happen again, or you can be the one who saw behind the curtain, the one who understood the infrastructure shift, the one who positioned early, not randomly, but intentionally. Because some moments in history are loud, but the other ones that change everything are quiet, right up until the moment they're not. And this is one of those moments. Do not blink. Because the world is distracting you with noise while XRP continues developing behind the scenes and building momentum in the broader digital asset landscape. Stay sharp, stay informed, accumulate knowledge. Your move now will be remembered. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring that bell, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic. We break down the major global banking trends shaping digital assets today, giving you context, clarity, and research you can use. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay in the Republic.